Hello YouTubers, welcome back. Just want to show you this piece of wood. I had my chainsaw out yesterday and I was cutting some logs up ready to turn into bowl blanks, and let me just show you this beautiful bit of beech. So we've got it was just a log, a bit grotty on one end. There's bits of mould and fungus and it was covered in wood lice. And when I put the chainsaw through it, look at that. Beautiful piece of sporting. Now that sporting is very much prized amongst all woodworkers, and what that is, that's a fungus that grows all these back lines down here. That's all a fungus, and that grows through, and that's what starts the wood to decay. The fungus is a growing entity, and like anything else, it needs air, moisture, something to feed on. So that's the same as we do. Take any one away and it dies off. With this one, I'll take moisture away. I've dried that out too. It's about 10% moisture at the moment. We're in the middle of the summer, and if I put my moisture meter on my bench, that would measure about 10% as well. So that's quite the ambient moisture content of wood at the moment. So as I say, you've taken the moisture away from it and it will die off. Perfectly safe to use, and it won't cause any issues whatsoever to anybody, but just leaves a beautiful figure all the way through that wood, particularly down that side. It really is nice. As I say, it's very much prized amongst all woodworkers, not just wood turners. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a piece of that and I'm going to turn it into a bowl for you. Quite a simple little project. There'll be no colouring. I think colouring on this would be a step too far. I would be drummed out. So the first thing I've got to do, take it to the bandsaw and turn it into a circular shape. Well, as you can see, I've cut that into a circular shape on the bandsaw, and I've mounted it on my lathe. That will be the bottom of the bowl. So the first thing I need to do is to cut a foot on there and put a recess in there. I say at the end of the video, but doesn't that look like an animal's head in the middle of there? Perhaps it is just me. Anyway, so first things first, as I say, that's the bottom of the bowl. You can see there's the bark of the tree, so I'll use that for the natural curve of the bowl. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to use my dividers just to mark the recess I need to put in the bottom of the bowl. You need to be very careful when you do this. Just use one point of the divider just to touch on the wood. Keep the other one well clear. So if you let both of them touch wood at the same time, they will go flying across the workshop, so you do need to be very careful. So now I'm just going in with a tool that I made just to cut the dovetail, cut the recess, and it is dovetail shape. The jaws of the chuck are dovetailed, so you want to make sure the recess you're cutting is also dovetailed. You can see from the shape of this tool the angle that I ground that back at. This actually was a diamond shaped scraper and I found that I never ever used it, so I reground it specifically for this purpose, just for cutting the recesses in the bottoms of bowls. So now this recess is cut. This recess, what I do when I turn this bowl around to hollow out the other side, my jaws will go inside of that recess in expansion mode, hold it firm. So what I'm doing now is there was an old Phillips screwdriver I had, and I ground a point on there, and just allowed me to put some lines on the bottom. These are only decorative, they don't serve any useful purpose. So now I've got my bowl gauge, and I'm going to hollow out the main shape of the bowl. As you can see where I've started from, that will be the foot of the bowl, so it's quite a wide foot on there, and I'm just using a skew chisel now just to go in, just to mark this and make it more clear, just as I don't turn it away really. So that's the foot of the bowl, and now I'm going to go through with the bowl gauge and just shape the outside of the bowl, just roughing away all the excess wood. So I've sanded that down there to 600. Lovely markings. So I'm going to get on there and just put some sand and sealer on there. And for that I'm using the Libron sand and sealer. No particular reason other than the fact I've got it here. It's funny that, because a lot of woods, as soon as you put sand and sealer on them, that grain, it just makes that grain pop straight out. And this don't seem to make a lot of difference to it. So, as lovely as it is. Ever so dry, it's soaking straight in it. I think I'm going to put that on with a paintbrush. I'll put something down there on the bed of my lathe to protect that. I'll get back to you when I've finished, because that's a bit like watching paint dry. So that's its first coat, that's all dried in. I'll just quickly sand that down. It's a piece of 240 sandpaper. .320. And a bit of 600. That's nice. Give that another quick coat of sand and sealer. Now that should, as the name implied, have sealed that wood. So that should be just a quick coat over the top. It's better. Much better. Quick spin. Buff up. There we go. I'll leave that on there for a bit, just let that dry off. Just so it takes half an hour to dry in between coats. I think I prefer the chestnut, the cellulose sealer. I don't think there's a lot on it for finish, but I'm very impatient, and that chestnut sealer does go off a hell of a lot quicker. Oh, that was a very welcome distraction. A very good friend of mine, Pete, and his wife just brought out this piece of box root. So, thank you very much for that, Pete. I'll do that in a later video. I'll see what that turns up like. All of those bits of root coming in here. Have their own, I wanted to say grain pattern, but I was struggling for the words. And that'll be another first, because I've never turned box before. It's supposed to be very nice wood to turn. So, once again, thanks Pete. Nice one. So that's the second coat of sand sealer. And just give that a quick rub down with Lathe whip, just take off any high spots. Looks good. So just give that a coat of Hampshire sheen wax now. Is the Hampshire sheen on? Buff that up. Whoa, look at that. You see the shine come on that straight away? Look at that. A little bit of cloth. Just knock that back again with a bit of Lathe whip. Another coat. Now we'll just buff that up now. the shine on that straight away. Beautiful. Clean bit of cloth. That'll do nicely. That's the bottom side finished. So I'll just turn that round and we'll hollow it. Oh, okay, I've sanded that down to 600. My apologies for this, but for some reason that didn't film me hollowing this bowl. So I've sanded that down to 600 and I've just put some sand and sealer on there. And I'm going to use a chestnut on this side. And just see if it's any different. I don't think there are any hard and fast rules about using different sand and sealers on different sides. But just cover that a little better. Just going to quickly sand that back with a bit of 600. And then apply another coat. Stuff. Put back with a bit of knife web. Apply some Hampshire sheen. You see the shine come on there straight away. Look at that. Now, for some reason at this point, my picture chose to freeze. So, unfortunately, you didn't get to see the final shine being put on this. Apologise for all these technical difficulties. Although, it's probably operator error. That's all done. There's Charlie's dog come down here when all the work's done. It's a tough life, isn't it, eh? It's a tough life being a dog. There you are, YouTubers, finished article. Some beautiful figure running through there. So that's a piece of spalted beech. It's either a platter or a very shallow bowl. Take your pick which you want to call it. Finished with the cellulose sealer and Hampshire sheen polish. I think that is quite a Quite a nice piece of wood. Well, thank you very much for watching that, YouTubers. Apologise, I'm having some problems with it. I'm not sure if it's the software or the hardware. A few bits that didn't record that I've had to re-record. Unfortunately, it didn't show me actually hollowing the bulb. I'm not sure what that is. I did spill some sanding sealer on my remote control. I hope it's not that. So that is all done. That's the bottom. That looks like an animal's head to you. In there. With this, where are we? With this snout, just there. There's its eyes. Or is that just me? No, it definitely looks like an animal's head. Well, there you go. I was really excited to find that bit of wood. Even if you didn't find it exciting, I did. Lovely piece of wood to turn. Beautiful to look at. So that's another project. As usual, I've been Steve Howe, and that really is a great day in my workshop. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.